In this episode, we concentrate on synagogues north of Douglas Boulevard and from Millard Avenue west to just a little past Keeler. We start on the 1200 South block of Millard, then go west one block to Lawndale. From Lawndale, we skip almost a half a mile west to the 1300 block of South Harding, then a few blocks further west to Keeler, then finally on 13th Street itself, a half a block past Keeler. Let us begin. Here we are on the 1200 block of South Millard. 1200 means that we are just a little further south, closer to the corner of 13th Street. We are looking at once was Congregation Ateres Israel Anshe Tiktin. Prior to here, the synagogue was located at 1337 Sangamon Street. On the archway, inscribed in stone, is the English letter equivalent of the Hebrew name of the synagogue. In 1956, it moved to the Budlong Woods area and merged with the next synagogue on our list to become Mikre Kodesh Anshe Tiktin. Its best-known spiritual leader once it moved north was Rabbi Albert Ellison. The building on Foster no longer exists, and it is possible that it may have merged its assets with yet another congregation. So let us travel one block west to Lawndale and see where its partner synagogue once was housed. This was the location in the 1930s, 40s, and 50s for Congregation Mikre Kodesh Anshe Lida Pinsk. This was started by people who came from Lida and Pinsk. Before here, it was located on the 1300 block of West 12th Street. It was also affectionately known as the Pinsker Shul. In 1926, the spiritual leader was listed as Rabbi B. Marcus. And now we jump several blocks west to the 1300 South block of Harding. We are looking at Anshe Russia Polei Tzedek. Polei Tzedek usually translates to honest or righteous workers. In 1928, Rabbi Isaac Halevi Small became the spiritual leader of the congregation. He was also the brother-in-law of Rabbi Moshe Feinstein. His son Michael succeeded him as spiritual leader, and Michael's son Aaron after him. When circumstances dictated it, the synagogue moved to West Rogers Park, where it now flourishes on California Avenue. And now, on to the fourth synagogue in our list. We are at the 1300 South block of Keeler, looking at Congregation Agudath Jacob. In 1956, this congregation merged with a recently opened synagogue on the Evanston side of Howard Street, near Damon Avenue. I recall at one point in the 1970s, my father being the cantor there for 1 or 2 years for the high holiday services. On the north side, Rabbi Norman or Nachman Rosenthal was its spiritual leader. He also was the first principal of Erie Crown Day School when it was still called Albany Park Hebrew Day School, as well as a chemist and inventor. Facing both an aging and dwindling membership, the congregation voted to merge in 1995 with Skokie Valley Traditional Congregation in Skokie, Illinois. That synagogue is now called Skokie Valley Agudath Jacob. And now on to our fifth and final synagogue. Since this is a very short distance, we're going to take that imaginary trip around the corner. We'll hang a right to go back to 13th, then a left to go down a half a block. And on the right is the fifth synagogue. This was the home of Machzike Hadass. The information I have indicates that the synagogue moved in 1960 to Devon and Damon, and that the rabbi both on the west side and on the north side was Yehuda Goldman. This ends our quick trip to the northwest section of the greater Lawndale area. Please look forward to episode 7, which will cover part of the northwest side of the city or the Humboldt Park area.